Newsbeat. This week's Earth Positive News, brought to you by Made by Planet. This is Beaky, your host, bringing you happy news from across the globe, so friends, stay tuned. First up, we got great news from Malaysia. Conservationist Robert Rish's efforts are finally bearing fruit. He founded the Rhino and Forest Fund, or RFF, in 2009 to reconnect wildlife reserves in Borneo, which were separated by oil palm plantations. He wanted to create a large wilderness area for endangered species like pygmy elephants and orangutans, for whom fragmentation of their home by these plantations was the biggest threat to their survival. In 2019, RFF bought 65 hectares of land, creating an 800-meter-wide corridor for elephants between the reserves. After removing fences, previously isolated elephant populations were reunited. RFF restored the land by planting trees and clearing invasive species. They also built a lake in the midst of the plantation. In 2022, they saw rare wildlife like orangutans, storm stork, and Amboina box turtle in the area. RFF aims to buy more land to widen the corridor and protect more wildlife. Next we go to Kenya, where sheep are coming to the rescue of a little bird, the sharp's long claw. The Kinangop grassland in Kenya is home to birds like sharp's long claw. Kinangop consists mainly of tussock, a kind of grass that grows in tuft-like clumps. During the dry season, this grass provides fodder for grazing animals. It also provides food, nesting place, and protection for the long claws from mongoose and owls. But since the past few decades, farmers started converting the grassland into croplands and exotic tree plantations, because of which the bird population declined. To protect the birds and the grassland, a conservation group called Friends of Kinangop Plateau is helping farmers switch to sheep rearing and donating Corriedale sheep, a breed that produces bulky and high-yielding wool. They are also buying land to create a nature reserve for the long claw so that it can once again thrive in the grassland. Next up, we go to Brazil, where conservationists are acting as mediators in beekeeper-armadillo conflict. In Brazil's shrinking Cerrado savanna, giant armadillos are causing problems for beekeepers by damaging their hives for eating bee larvae. The giant armadillo is the largest of all armadillo species. The camera traps revealed that they stand up on their hind legs and push the hives with their head and nose, resisting the stings from the bees, thanks to their thick skin and protective armor. Due to loss of livelihood, the beekeepers resort to poisoning the armadillos. To protect the armadillos and support the beekeepers' livelihoods, a project called the Armadillo and Honey Project is helping beekeepers adopt armadillo-friendly practices, like using elevated stands and electric fencing to prevent armadillos from reaching the hives. This collaboration has issued over 100 armadillo-friendly honey certificates. These certificates result in fetching a higher price for the honey, so the beekeepers adopt these practices willingly. Protecting the giant armadillos is essential because they create burrows that provide shelter for other species like peccaries, ocelots, and anteaters too, making them important for the ecosystem. Now, let's fly to Brookfield Zoo to welcome a special new arrival, a male addax antelope. The addax is a critically endangered species from Saharan Africa, with less than 100 left in the wild. The calf's birth is part of a conservation program to save the species. For the next few weeks, the calf will spend a majority of his time in a nesting area. Addax are unique with their twisted screw-like horns, and they are slow animals, which sadly makes them easy targets for poachers. Conservationists aim to protect the addax population, and some zoo-born addax may be reintroduced into protected reserves to help the species survive. Now friends, let us meet this week's eco-warrior. 19-year-old Lesein Mutunkei from Kenya. Mutunkei started his journey as an environmentalist when he was 5 years old. To commemorate special occasions, his family planted trees. That helped him associate the growth of a tree with celebration. But it was the late Kenyan environmentalist, Wangari Maathai, who inspired Mutunkei to turn his family tradition into a movement. Mutunkei remembers that Maathai often told a story about a hummingbird trying to put out a forest fire while all of the other animals fled in fear. For him, the lesson in that is, however small you think you may be, you can make a difference. It does make a change. When he was 12 years old, he started hearing about deforestation and he knew he must do something. That's where the idea to combine football and environmentalism originated. He started by planting 1 sapling for every goal scored and then went on to increase this to 11 saplings. He talked to his team and schoolmates and founded Trees for Goals. Now, Trees for Goals has planted over 5,500 indigenous trees in forests, at schools, and around football club training grounds. He regularly conducts seminars and workshops to inspire the younger generation. He wants FIFA to use its audience of billions to make this impact global. While he hasn't directly received a response yet, some big names in the football world have already acknowledged his efforts. After learning about him in an environmental docu-series, Arsenal Football Club sent him an autographed jersey. While it might still be waiting for support from FIFA, Trees for Goals has caught the attention of Kenya's Ministry of Environment and Forestry. In exchange for advice about how to engage young people in conservation, the ministry provided him with saplings, and now collaborates with him regularly to decide where to plant them. In 2018, he received the International Eco-Hero Award for his efforts. He believes that younger generation need not wait for leaders to make a difference. They can bring about change by passionately following their goals. Before I sign off, friends, here are some of the best art imaginations received last week. So, if you have positive art creations on our planet Earth, send them to me on the details given in the description below and I would love to feature them. Until next time. Happy Earth, happy children.